Well, we're still staying on the matter, focusing on the talk around restructuring. And joining us now is Oladimeji Fabiyi, who is a member of the All Progressives Congress. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you for bringing me today. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. So quickly, I mean, your party has finally constituted a committee to look into, the talk of restructuring, even though initially they were saying we're not going to look at it. We believe that the focus should be more on the economy, and what we promised was devolution of powers, not restructuring. But as a member of the APC and listening to what has been going on so far so good, what are your views in terms of what's been going on, or what's the conversation around restructuring has been about?
Well, thank you very much. But first and foremost, I'd like to welcome Mr. President back to the country. It feels so good to have him back and refreshing, again reassuring. And then I want to wish him very quick recovery and energy, to handle all this hasty of agitations here and there, and then give us build a nation that is governed by fairness, equity, and then unity of purpose. For me, the issue of restructuring has been on and it will continue to be on. And then at first, when the party came up and said there was nothing like that, I was taken aback, because that was one of the things we used during the campaign to the Nigerian populace. And it means people followed the party, they followed our candidates based on that, because this is one of the things that has been on, for quite a long time. But it's good that they've taken a U-turn, and then they are coming up with by setting up the committee. I hope the committee will do a good job and then be honest with Nigerians, because we promised them this, and then we must deliver on that promise.
So what are your thoughts then? I mean, what do you think that this should incorporate? We're talking about restructuring. A
lot of things are there. Restructuring in itself is just an item, and then I strongly believe that it's just not about restructuring. A lot of questions. Leadership is another thing, because when you say you are restructuring, and you still need people who will run the process. It's just, what I'm saying is that it's just not about restructuring itself, but the leadership questions still follow. And if that one is not addressed, there's going to be a problem. So for me, our current structure and the practices it has encouraged has been the impediment to our economic and political development. And then a call for restructuring in Nigeria today is not just in order, but it's potent and relevant. In the light of challenges of governance, economic problems, all this rising tide of agitation across the country, it's important that this matter is seriously looked into. What does it mean to you? What does restructuring mean to me? It's simply in my own understanding of it, is to design a policy that will be people-oriented. The present structure is for the elites, it's not for the people. And that is why we're saying that take this thing, this government, this governance back to the people. That's why we're talking of devolution of powers, that's why we're talking of resource control, that's why we're talking of state police, a lot of things. That is what it means to me, giving this thing, the governance, the government back to the people. Not the elite as it's being considered right now. And that's why we're not making any headway. Why do you think it's so difficult? Why do you think that there is so much controversy? Because if the leaders say that they are for the people, we say we are practicing a democracy now, a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And if it's all about the people, and you say that this is giving governance back to the people, why do you think it's so controversial? It's a leadership problem. It's a leadership problem, and then where people have to come in is when you are choosing your leaders. You must choose leaders who will be pro you, who will be pro people. So it's a leadership question. Sincerely, it's a leadership question. We don't have leaders who think more about the people. We have leaders who only think more about themselves, and then they are forgetting that this thing is Commonwealth, and we need to sit down and talk about it and make sure that everybody gets fair share. Why do you think that the agitations are particularly loud right now? I know that you've worked very closely in government quarters, working very closely with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Why do you think, and in that time, yes, there was some attempt at a conference, even though at the end of the day, people question what sort of results came out of it or the motive behind convening such a conference. But
why do you think that the agitations are particularly loud right now?
Well, thank you for this question. First, I'd like to appreciate the former Vice President for taking the lead in this advocacy. And then I am so happy because he's just not talking about it right now. He's been talking about it since 2006 when he ran under the ACN, as it were, at that time.
But it's just 1 year before he left office as Vice President.
What do you expect him to do? He was just number 2. He was not the president. It's possible he moves it under And again, look at the exigencies at that time.
Number 2, it's not just, but, you know...
Just hold on. The exigencies at that time may not even call for what they have now. Then we don't even have Niger Delta agitation as pronounced as what we have now. We don't have Boko Haram. We don't have these headsmen, Fulani,